Dear weary heart, I've been thinking about you, and I wanted to write to you today because I know what it feels like to carry this particular heaviness, the one that doesn't have a name you can point to, the one that settles in somewhere around your chest and just stays, the one that whispers, not enough, not quite, not yet, never. I know that whisper. I think most of us do. There's a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from trying to earn your place in the world. It doesn't look like the exhaustion of hard labor. It doesn't leave bruises you can show anyone. It's quieter than that. It's the exhaustion of waking up and immediately checking, am I okay today? Am I doing enough? Do the people I love still choose me? Have I proven yet that I deserve what I want in life? That is a long way to carry yourself through a day, through a life. And somewhere along the way, and I don't think there was ever one single moment, but rather a slow accumulation of moments, you started to believe that your worth was something that had to be earned, that it was conditional, that it lived out there in other people's approval, in your own productivity, in the gap between who you are and who you think you're supposed to be. I want to sit with you in that for a moment, not to fix it, not to hand you a list of reasons you should feel differently, just to say, I know how it's like to be living in that gap, and I know how cold it is there. Can I tell you something that took me a long time to understand? The feeling of not enough, it is not a measurement. It is not the truth about you finally surfacing. It is not the universe giving you an honest assessment. It is a wound wearing the costume of wisdom. Somewhere, something happened, maybe many things, over many years, and you learned that love was something you had to work for, that safety required performance, that if you let yourself rest, if you let yourself simply be without striving or improving or proving, something would be taken from you. Someone would leave. You would be found out. So you kept going. You kept reaching. You kept shrinking yourself down and puffing yourself up and contorting yourself into whatever shape seemed most likely to be loved. And it worked, sometimes. It brought you moments of warmth and belonging that felt, just for a second, like proof that you were okay. But then it passed, and the quiet came back. And with it, that whisper again. Not enough. I think about all the ways we've been taught to measure ourselves. By the size of our accomplishments, by the warmth of other people's responses, by how we look, how we perform, how efficiently we move through our to-do lists, by whether we are growing, improving, optimizing, as if we are machines that exist to produce outputs, and not people who exist to live. And I think about how strange it is that we accepted this, how gradually it happened, how the world kept holding up a measuring stick, and we kept reaching for it, trying to see if we'd grown tall enough yet. You haven't grown tall enough, by the way. None of us have. Because the stick keeps moving. That's the nature of measuring sticks wielded by fear. They are infinitely extensible. There is always further. There is always someone doing more, being more, seeming more at ease in their own skin. The game was never designed to be won. And here's what I want you to hear. You don't have to play it anymore. You are allowed to be imperfect in ways that never get resolved. You are allowed to have edges that don't soften, habits you haven't broken yet, wounds still in the middle of healing. You are allowed to have tried something and failed at it without that failure becoming a verdict on your whole self. You are allowed to be in process. The entire universe is in process. Stars are exploding and forming. Rivers are carving new paths through old rock. Everything is in the middle of becoming something. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are, like everything else, unfinished in all the ways that matter. The caterpillar inside the chrysalis doesn't look like progress. It looks like dissolution. From the outside, from certain angles, it looks like death. But something knows what it's doing. Something in the middle of all that softening knows exactly where it's going. Trust the in-between. Trust the dissolving. Trust yourself when you cannot yet see the shape of what you're becoming. I want to speak gently to the part of you that keeps a list. You know the one. The list of all the evidence that you aren't enough. The thing you said 5 years ago that you still turn over in your hands late at night. The relationship that ended, partly, maybe, because of something in you. The time you let someone down. The version of yourself you promised you'd become and haven't yet. I know you keep this list close. I know you return to it when the doubt comes. Almost as if to say, see, I have proof. But I want to ask you something. Do you keep an equally careful list of the times you held yourself together when everything wanted to fall apart? Of the small, unwitnessed kindnesses you offered when no one was watching? Of the mornings you got up anyway? Of the love you've given, quietly, without any guarantee it would be returned? Do you count those? Do you weigh them with the same precision? Usually we don't. Usually we are far more faithful record keepers of our failures than our gifts. We remember every stumble in high definition, and our moments of grace feel somehow accidental, like they don't really count, like they don't say anything true about who we are. But they do. They say everything. You are more than the worst things you've done. You are more than the worst things that have been done to you. You are more than the gap between where you are and where you think you should be. You are more than your productivity, your appearance, your relationship status, your bank account, your follower count, your family's approval, your own approval. You are, and I mean this with the full weight of the word, enough. Not eventually. Not once you fix the things you're trying to fix. Not when you finally feel more settled or more successful or more worthy of being loved. Now. In this body. In this season. With this specific combination of gifts and wounds and still unresolved things. You are enough now. I know that might not land the way I want it to. I know you might read it and think, that's a nice thing to say, but you don't know me. You don't know what I've done. You don't know how I feel inside my own mind, how far I am from the person I want to be. And you're right. I don't know the specific geography of your inner life. I don't know the exact shape of your particular ache. But I know this. The fact that you are here, reading this, reaching towards something that might offer even a small measure of comfort, that is not the act of a person who is broken beyond repair. That is the act of a person who is still trying, still hoping, still in some quiet and persistent way, choosing life. That matters more than you know. The reaching matters. The hoping matters. The fact that you have not closed yourself entirely to the possibility that things could feel different, that you could feel differently about yourself, that is not a small thing. So here is what I want to leave you with today. Not a to-do list. Not a set of affirmations to repeat to yourself until they stick. Not instructions for how to fix the feeling of not enoughness, because I don't think it works that way. Just this: be a little gentler with yourself today than you were yesterday. Not because you've earned it, not because you've done the work or said the right things or proven that you deserve it. Just because you are a living thing, and living things need gentleness the way they need water, not as a reward, but as a condition of thriving. Notice one thing today that you did without thinking that was, in fact, quietly good. The way you listened, the way you showed up, the way you made someone's ordinary moment feel a little less ordinary. These things count. Let them count. And when the voice comes, that old familiar whisper, when it says not enough, I hope you'll be able to hear, underneath it, another voice. Quieter, steadier, the one that has been there all along. The one that says, you are here, you are living, you are loved. And that, in all its ordinary and extraordinary truth, is enough. Take care of that heart of yours. It has carried you through more than it should have had to carry. It has loved in the dark when it had no promise of light. It has hoped when hoping felt naive. It has, quietly and without fanfare, kept going. Honor that. Honor the keeping going. Until next time, weary heart, you are not alone in this.